I have the privilege of a white person to be able to know where I come from and to be able to prove that. People of color do not have that privilege. That is an example of white privilege. It's not an attack on your character as a person, as a white person. It's a concept of having things given to you, guaranteed to you in your life that you take for granted and you don't even have to think about. I never had to think about this. I've never had to struggle through finding where I come from. I was able to do it in about a week. I never thought about it.
White supremacy, privilege, fragility, are all one of the chapters in the book of wokeism, right after diversity, equity, and inclusion, and before the chapter of misgendering pronouns. As you saw there, white privilege makes white people feel guilty for what they believe as being superior, therefore denoting black people as being inferior. I mean, this young white girl felt superior because she could look up her ancestors in a more easier way than probably most black people can. And although that is, somewhat unfortunate thing for a lot of black people, due to the racist history, of this country, but is it something that makes one superior or even privileged? Now, I'm going to discuss this stupid ideology more from the black person side, but real quick on the white person side of it. If I had privilege due to my skin color, man, I'll exploit the hell out of that, but this upside down society has placed, having privilege or being advantage as applying it as being racist because of your skin color. Crazy. I mean, like I said, if I had white privilege, I'd probably be acting like this.
This is a classic example of white privilege, and you both have it.
What's that?
Anyone want to fill them in?
Yeah, I'll do it. Okay, so white privilege is when white people, particularly men, automatically assume they can take whatever they want. And they never have to worry about getting stopped by the police. And they have the inside track for any job
I got this one, Aisha. They have the inside track for any job they want.
Exactly, Gage. Thank you for that. That's white privilege.
Whoa. And we have that?
You sure do.
I see.
Whoa. I never realized this stuff.
Yeah, you've really opened up my eyes.
Well, I'm glad we've been able to enlighten you. The real question is, do you think you'll be acting differently from now on?
I guarantee it.
Yeah, me too, yeah.
Step aside, please. We have white privilege.
Yo, man, I used to love that show, Beavis and Butthead. But this just tells you that the less educated you are, the more real you're going to act. But this whole white privilege mantra is just another form of Marxism, as it just constantly puts one group against another group because of, an uneven distribution in society due to skin color. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're a billionaire like Michael Jordan versus, I don't know, some regular white guy like, Tucker Carlson. Regardless of wealth and prestige and clout Jordan has, he will not have the same privileges as Tucker Carlson because of the skin color. I mean, I don't know, that just sounds ridiculous. I mean, white privilege and white guilt basically removes objective reality of the situation at hand in our current society. It's a doctrine that places hierarchy in society based on race, or in this setting, skin color. White being high, black being low, while at the same time, in a kind of like a invert way, through oppression, it places black as being higher in society and whites being lower. And once again, objective reality is removed for this ideology to work in one's mind. I mean, think about it. Over like 150 to 200 years ago, white people saw themselves better than blacks, and not all white people, but I'm sure most did. And that was the culture back then. And they also viewed themselves better because, back then they had access to allow them to be better and dictate certain things. Like they had access to weaponry, education, land for food, and at least rich white people did. And to look at that as supremacy, nah, I see more as rulership. But nowadays it's non-existent, as white people have, as a whole, they have less power, due to various civil rights laws the influx of immigration, so there are less numbered of them in American society, and just overall opportunities that can be assessed by others. So based on object reality, there is no white supremacy or even rulership, since power is based more on a caste system through economics nowadays. I mean, who has more power now? Oprah Winfrey or, a white man as your neighbor and makes about median income? But once object reality is removed, the inverted way can be applied, where empowerment is gained through oppression, victimization, subjugation, and so on. So black people have to be constantly reminded and convinced in order to believe that white people have privilege based upon their skin color, because that will assist black folks to ignore the objective reality and to engage more into our feelings of being or feeling oppressed. Feelings that could easily be triggered whenever you see a police officer shoot a black man without even know the context of the situation that led up to that shooting, or feel triggered when you see Donald Trump because he's painted as racist, as he doesn't pander to us, unlike how Democratic politicians do. It absolves us from the truth of a situation, or at least the nuance. And this detachment ultimately it makes a lot of people ignorant to our surroundings in society, to where we embrace criminality, poverty, miseducation. It'll be like, by doing so, would be, as Dave Chappelle coined so well, keeping it real. I recall growing up that if you did something correct, like, doing your homework on time or speaking in a more grammatically correct way, you were called white boy. That's crazy. I mean, to even support this foolish way of thinking, I recall a few years ago where the African American Museum in DC had removed from their website a chart that compared whiteness to being independent, a great planner, and able to delay gratification, and a whole bunch of positive attributes. I mean, think about that. We're insulting ourselves at the expense to gain some form of sympathy or compassion. That's what losers do. And another thing this ideology does by spreading ignorance is what else ignorance does to a large group of people of the same or similar likeness. It makes us racist.
What should white people do about that?
There's not much y'all can do, but just gotta deal with it.
What should I do about that, do you think?
Try not to be white. That's all you can do at this point.
Is it okay to be Asian?
Nah, you don't want to be them either. Nah.
How about black?
Definitely that. That's it. It's all you could be. It's the coolest thing to be. I mean, you really, after that, you talking bottom of the barrel, really. Asian, that's probably worse than being white, ain't it?
A lot of people that we would speak to today would call what you're saying racist.
Yeah, I am racist.
Are you serious? Or are you...
100%.
So you just don't like white people as a whole?
No. Black people are really racist.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
But white people have made it where it's so easy to be racist. White people has put that foundation down, and it's just normal.
I think they racist when they say that. And you gotta live and let live, I think it's better with white and chocolate and,
No, that's not okay. It's terrible to be white.
Oh, boy, don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Quit touching me. Yeah, don't hurt. Don't hurt. Stop moving. Sorry, man. Hurt. I'm sorry.
Damn. We've gradually become the thing our ancestors despised and fought against. It's so sad. It's like you gotta laugh. You got nothing else to say. Wow. Embracing white privilege keep black people more enslaved than how we were 150 years ago. Because back then it was forced physically. Now it's coerced mentally through manipulation. And the inverted ladder of empowerment through oppression will still leave us lower in society. Because due to categorization of intersectionality, where there are additional layers of oppression that can be applied. So for instance, if you're a black woman, you're over a black man. But if you're a gay white man, you're over a black woman. If you're trans, you're over a gay man, and so on into, oppression perpetuity. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, this ideology goes real deep, but for it to have a good, strong, roots, you have to start the indoctrination with the kids. And a way the powers that be in our culture are trying to implement this is in our school system, obviously. And they do it with what is called critical race theory, CRT. I mean, think about it. Should we be teaching theories to our children in school? Let's find out.